Hello and welcome to another episode of Let's Play Final Fantasy X on an exercise bike. Let's deconstruct it. When last we left off, we were under Lake Macalania. Let's just see. Yep, everything on the control seems to be okay. That is sometimes a problem. Yeah, it's been a little while since the last one, when did I record the last episode? Maybe a week or so ago. It's not Final Fantasy X's fault particularly. As I've said before, there's just more going on right now outside of the channel, and it makes it quite difficult to keep any sort of regular pattern of progress. But in the long-standing tradition of people recording for YouTube or TikTok or whatever, I thought maybe I'd just take a moment to raise that as a thing and make it about me, because that's what the internet needs, another ego for the world to revolve around. I think that there's been a huge change in gamer demographics over the years. I think there's been a real shift for who plays it in terms of, gender, age particularly, your social background. It's become a massively different industry to how it was 30 years ago. And I think that the pattern the pattern of sort of, I'm not going to call it professional play, but this sort of pseudo-professional let's playing of hammering in these games, I don't think it's realistic for most folks. I think most people have, jobs or other commitments. I know that unemployment right now is at a very high level. A lot of people struggling to get on the job market, and if you're in that position, then my condolences, and I wish you the level best with that, because it can be a nightmare. But even then, a lot of people, you might have childcare, what have you. All the gamers who were gamers growing up, who played Final Fantasy X and games like it, they've got older, but probably most of them haven't stopped gaming. So there's this shift, and I suppose that we have to sort of think about that in terms of how we design games right now, whether or not what tools are we using to try and anchor people who might have been out of it for a while. Is it better for us to make shorter games that are more intense? And the other thing is as well, going back, I mean, we talk about the economy of gaming. I think I've said it on the channel a few times before, but it bears repeating. When I was a relatively small child, I went to my grandmother was going to buy me a new Super Nintendo game for Christmas, and we went out to the high street store, and the game I wanted was Street Fighter 2, and that was £65. This is going back, over 30 years ago. The last new game that I purchased that's like not a serious indie release was Baldur's Gate 3, which I think was £40. So it, things are cheaper than ever, which I think even if you are a younger gamer, things are perhaps more disposable now than they were back then. You might not get that many games, and the games that you had, you shared with your friends. Lending games to one another was very much the way you would do things. So it's, yeah, I guess it just, like, what's happened here is sort of reflects that. And then the other point I wanted to sort of, I say it reflects that. I mean, it reflects that reality and that sort of paradigm shift, I think, for your average gamer. And certainly your average gamer, if you are looking to make something that is retro inspired. I mean, like, for all the other criticisms of Clair Obscur, like, that's very much a love letter to games like Final Fantasy X. I don't always think it hits. I think it misses quite a lot of the time, but it's so it's possible to do it from like a AAA background like that, and it will be considered AAA. I'm not having any nonsense about it being anything else. But if you're particularly looking at making games with a target audience of people who liked this sort of thing the first time around, then you have to sort of bear in mind that even though those people might share your love of such things, their circumstances are also likely to have changed. Doing a 100-hour game may not be a very sensible play. It might be much better off to focus on a 20 or 30-hour game. Certainly in terms of like main quest content, I guess. I think if you can't complete a game in a working week, if somebody takes a week off work and they can't complete that game, I think you're inviting trouble. But anyway, that's the point on that. Going back to Final Fantasy X, how am I feeling about it? It's okay. I mean, like, the first thing that I think really helps with this is I've come out of Temple of Elemental Evil, which I really don't enjoy. So that's been okay. I find it a very interesting game to explore. That's the whole reason that I'm covering it. I'm not necessarily following it to the letter, or like urgently thinking, I can't wait to play another episode of this. It's not quite that, but then again, as I say, I've played this relatively recently, and I do, as I said before, I think we're going to enter a bit now where things get a little it's probably my least favourite, or certainly the section of the game I find most murky in my mind. But that's that. Right, let's carry on. I think we spoke with Lulu.
Now we're the traitors that killed a maester.
But I don't think we spoke with him.
What now, I wonder?
What now? You act first and think later, don't you? I mean, can't you be a little more responsible? We're all depending on you, you know?
A lecture?
No. Just a suggestion.
And a lecture.
You should place trust in your friends. But you can't expect someone to protect you all the time. You would do well to remember that.
Is that a lecture?
It's advice. Young summoners are magnets for trouble.
Yeah, should have gone with Donna.
So now...
Okay, fine. Right. Oh.
Hey, Waka, would you cheer up? Look, we only did what we had to do.
It doesn't matter. Don't you see? I've always walked the path of Yevon. But now, I'm a traitor. How could this happen? Damn!
It's not Riku's fault either.
Huh? You don't know how I feel. Wonder what the Aurochs are doing now.
Probably losing.
I'm sure Yuni's okay. She's breathing fine and all. How are Lulu and Waka?
Well, Waka's in shock. Can't blame him either.
Watch this.
And Lulu,
Hold my beer.
she's just the same as always.
Yeah, Lulu.
She's so together. All grown up, I guess.
I guess.
Well, just give me 5 or 6 more years.
Fucking hell.
Sorry, how do we get out of here?
Hey, don't change the subject.
We climb.
Kimari too.
Only those who try will become.
Huh?
I think he means you have to work hard if you want to be like Lulu.
Oh, I will.
Kimari think Riku should stay Riku.
Huh? Hey, are you saying I'll never be like Lulu? Kimari!
How can you laugh at a time like this?
Yuna?
I wanted to confront Maester Seymour about his father, Lord Discourse. I wanted to convince him to turn himself in to Yevon's judgment.
In exchange for marriage?
Yes, if that's what it took.
Such a terrible idea.
So, what did Seymour say?
He didn't say anything. Now I don't even think it was worth it.
Yeah, it wasn't worth it.
I should have told you what I was going to do.
Enough! Dwelling in the past is futile.
Hey, you don't have to say it like that.
You want to waste time listening to her regrets?
You don't have to say it like that.
Our immediate concern is Yuna's pilgrimage. Are you willing to go on?
Yes. But then, do you think Yevon will allow it?
The Faith are the ones that give power to the summoners. Not the temples or the teachings. If the temples try to stop us, then we will defy Yevon if we must.
Whoa!
I can't believe you said that.
Sir Orin?
Count me out. We have to atone to make up for the sins we have committed. Of course. It's not like I ever liked Maester Seymour, yeah? No way I'll ever forgive him for killing Lord Jisco. And for trying to do us all in two, you know? But still, the bunch of us going against Yevon? No way!
But still. And must face our punishment.
We must go to Bevel. We must speak with Maester Micah and explain what has happened. There is no other way, I think.
I agree.
Sir Orin?
So it is decided.
Will you come with us?
I am the troublemaker, after all.
Yeah, that's right. You can always count on Aaron to complicate things.
Yeah. Kamari roars and Orin runs off, and...
I never asked you to follow me.
Hey, but that's what friends are for. Right?
Yep.
Thank you.
Huh?
Friends, huh?
Man, how can you all act like nothing's wrong? Must got nerves of steel or something.
You're too edgy. Listen to the hymn and calm down.
Sick. Right, well, that was... the angle when it went to Lulu, just outrageous. But anyway.
Is that coming from the temple?
Yes, it is Yevon's gift. It soothes the hearts of the faithful.
You say so.
Who is that singing?
The faith.
Oh. Huh? The faith? What? It can sing?
Of course it can. Don't be a fool.
Yeah, he's telling Mother.
Say, isn't the ground shaking?
Friends, huh? First time a non-Albed called me that.
Technically speaking, he was speaking with Aura. Yeah.
I'm sure that Maester Micah will listen to us.
Yeah, I'm not quite as confident still. Yeah, contribution. Right, can you move? I want to speak with... Guess not.
This place smells different now.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Kamari not know if this good or bad.
Oh, okay. Cool. That at least. Avenger. What is Avenger? Avenger's that. Ooh, Avenger gives counter-attack. Ooh, counter-attack versus all that, though. I think I'll go for it, but that's a... Oh, that's a tough one. Can we actually... Can we... How do we do this again? Customize. We find something. Is there an easy way to get down? Oh, okay. Does he even have anything that we can customize? Lightning steel. So do we have that now? No. So I guess we just... I don't really understand what the logic is.
Jack used to sing this song.
Yeah, over and over. But not this good, that's for sure.
Another trait you share.
What? You were listening? Jeez, can't I get a little privacy?
Your singing reminded me of Spira.
Oh, right. You're not originally from Xanarkand, are you? You homesick?
Maybe.
Say, how'd you get to Xanarkand anyway?
Yeah.
Sin?
Question.
Uh-huh. I thought so. That proved it. Sin was the link between Xanarkand and Spira. Which means, if we kill Sin, I'll never be able to go home.
Right. Well,
The singing stopped.
There's something here.
The ground.
Sin! The toxin, watch out!
It was then I knew that Sin really was my old man. For the first time, I was finally able to believe it.
I mean, you believed it on about 15 different other occasions, so I'm not quite sure what that line's about.
You were listening too. What is it this time? Xanarkand. You homesick too? That's not your world anymore. You're Sin now. Hey, I'm older now, you know? I know. You want this to end. I'll find a way, promise.
So, I'm not a fan of that. As I think I've alluded to before, I thought there was a lot more depth to the story and relationship between Tidus and Jecht. That maybe, you know, on subsequent playthroughs I've sort of discovered that, yeah, maybe that's not quite as in-depth as it could have been. Once again, it's another long sequence without any gameplay. We've done 25 minutes and you know, the extent the gameplay has been deciding which party member to speak to. So, you know, that's again, it's one of these choices it makes. Obviously, there's going to be bits where that happens. You know, lots of games. I mean, Final Fantasy VII, which I'm constantly banging on about, that does it loads. But I just don't think it does it like as often and sort of oddly. The timings are normally when something intense is happening that you are locked into these cutscenes. Whereas that bit, I don't know, just seemed to stretch a bit. I don't really think that was an idea. The other thing as well, like that, there's a lot of very dramatic cutscenes from which I feel like the game, as I said before, like weaves a lot of its plot from the set piece cutscenes, almost as if they were written first. But that particular one's just weird. It's just like a picture of Sin, or like a small animation of Sin, which, for one, reveals it in much more detail than the other shots, and not really. A lot of the time, like Sin's appearance can be a little bit incongruous, or not incongruous, inconsistent. So that was another example of that. And then for everyone to be reacting on the ground, I mean, like, so what was it in the lake? Was it what? And that's the other problem with this, of like having this great big sea creature. To say nothing of the relationship with, you know, the characters and water, and the ability to be underwater at some times and not at others. Like, yeah, like if there was a map, maybe that would have made more sense as to where Sin was. Or does it just appear? So all in all, like, yeah. And also as well, like the whole, I mean, and this is something that I think you're, as the player, you're meant to think this, but it's still quite a weird thing. It's like Yuna's, like, and I'm going to use the word in the loosest possible sense of its meaning. Yuna's plan is what? To marry Seymour in the hopes that he'll turn himself in to, like, it's a very, again, many elements of the plot in this, and particularly in the section we're in, feel quite contrived, at least to me. And that whole scene and sequence with Sin, and indeed being under the lake, I'm like, why? If we're just going to end up on dry land in a second, you know, why did we have to be under the lake? You know, like. But it comes back to this sort of dreamlike passage between places. It's very interesting. As I say, I don't think it's always spot on, but it is interesting.
Where am I?
Right, this, however, I recall as being one of the...
I forgive you this time.
Oh.
Be good for a while, okay?
Yeah, you see, this, if I'd have designed that, I'd have done it in a very different way. What can we... Okay. Yeah, 4 remedies. It's not so much a gift as it is a necessity. Right, well... So yeah, this is the Albed Desert. And yes. Yeah. Do we have... this is going to be a problem.
Need some help?
Yes, quite frankly. Need lots of help. Come on. Right, yeah. I think we'll actually hide potions since we've got it. Not quite sure.
Are you alright?
Ah, hello. Yeah. Woo. Yeah, just keep power breaking it. Let that power break come down. And you wear the sonic boom when its wings glow. Okay. Right, well, if I had to guess, we'll go Blizzara. If that's the case. That's alright. Very good. Fine. I think we have got this now, but yeah, sprite bangle, yeah.
The others?
Haven't found them yet. We're supposed to stay in one place if we get split up.
Wait here if you want. He's not.
No, he's not. Right. Lightning Ward and extra health is nice, but I think, mind you, she doesn't really matter about her, does it? I think there's other things that cast dark. Yeah, okay.
Waka! You alone?
Mm-hmm. Where's Yuna? Damn it! First I lose Yuna, then I'm ambushed by Machina. Great day I'm having.
Well, good. You have a great day. First aid kit. Oh, okay. Thanks, Albert. I don't think we need anything there. Was there a chest up this way that I saw? Or is it just... Yeah, so it's also like the relationship with the camera becomes a little frustrating in this area. Now as you will all be acutely aware, I am a huge fan of using your camera for storytelling. But
How can a bird grow so big?
there are obviously problems with doing so. Yeah, 2 secs. Sorry. Okay, apologies for that. Where were we? Aaron was going to heal Lulu because Lulu took a pretty savage thing there. That might have proved to be a bad idea. Yeah. Oh, okay. Right. Can you haste Auron? Now, Auron. Power break that. Okay. Very nice. Although, I say very nice, that might have just screwed us. Right, okay. Yeah. Right, good. Let's go for him. Excellent. Right, okay. Need to be a little bit careful here because not only are we running a little bit low on high potions, we're not terribly near a save, so no. Are its wings glowing? Not know. Sometimes if we hit it hard enough it will fall to the ground, which presumably stops the charge. Good. You might be wondering why I'm not using Lulu's overdrive. It's because it's a surefire way to break your controller. You have to rotate the stick as quickly as you can in quick succession. And it's just, yeah, it's responsible for the breaking of just about every PlayStation 2 right analog stick. So, we won't be doing that. To be honest, for most things, unless you're casting Demi, it's not even that good anyway.
No time to waste. Let's go.
I mean, that works better if he doesn't pause just before he says it. What's the health situation? Oh, we have got Waka as well. Right, so is this the wrong way then? No. Maybe. Well, here's Riku anyway.
Oh! Hey guys! Kimari too!
Right.
Oh! Hey guys!
Oh, I see.
Kimari too!
We have to go back and get Kimari before Riku will let us join the party or that. We haven't leveled anyone up for a while. Let's level up Lulu. What is actually going to offer. certain amount of value from where she is. What's that, by the way? What is it? Bio, yes. And then a load of level 3s. And then down here is what? Nabgil. I think we're probably okay for Nabgil. Although Bio is much more tempting. Right, okay. Hey! Remember this? Do you know what? Just attack them anyway. Yeah, and then you kill that. Very good. Now everybody's getting
It's me?
desired things. Oh. I would have quite liked to have got the kill, but unfortunately seems like that is not to be. Yeah, so the instead what we will have is this rather ponderous section. So I suppose we'll get us a few levels. And it's not too bad when we get it this way involved. Okay. Yeah. That's unfortunate, isn't it?
You're not gone.
It's not your fault, Kamari.
Yeah.
Hey, you, Machina!
I'm not sure if we even need this. Let's hide this. Mari. Cool. And some high potions, which are much needed after what we lost earlier. So.
This'll be easy.
It probably won't be that difficult, yeah, to be fair. You have thunder, let's see what your thunder does. Okay, not a great deal. And you have better thunder, so let's do that. Auron, you missed out last time.
Farewell. to waste. Let's go.
More wounds. Yeah. Well, that's unfortunate, isn't it? I should have gone for the other one. Come on. Can probably do this in that case. Let Tidus and Wacky get some let Tidus get some experience.
See ya!
Oh! Hey guys! Where's Uni?
Gone.
Gone. Some guardian I am.
Lulu, I'll say that.
There's something I want to tell you, but promise not to say anything. No glaring either. I know where we are. We're on Bikanel Island. There's a place us Albed call home near here. Uni's there, I'm sure of it. Other Albed must have come and rescued her.
Rescued? You mean kidnapped?
What does it matter as long as she's safe?
That's right. Anyway, I will take you there if you promise that you won't tell anyone about it. Especially not Yevonites, okay? You know they don't like us, Albed. Who knows what they'll do if they knew?
Give me a break. What are you accusing Yevon of this time?
Yevon did something really bad to us before.
Well, you Albed must have deserved it.
Ugh. Can't you guys talk about this later?
Just promise you won't tell anyone about this island. Promise?
Waka, come on!
All right, I promise. Lead the way.
You got it.
Okay, cool. Well, she really is leading the way to heart, and there is happily a save section here. I would, in fact, we'll do the sphere grid as well. I would love to keep playing. Unfortunately, my hands are playing up, so it's going to have to be a bit of a shorter one. This one, sorry. They are. How much is that? Is that interest? Ooh, 4. And how much is that? 3. Well, the extra strength would be useful. I think he. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's not. Wouldn't normally expect the pain to be in my wrist rather than my knuckles, but I would rather not tempt fate. That's okay for all of you. Well, even if it isn't okay for all of you, I'm absolutely not going to do it. Right. So we've done all that. Should we have a look at the customised bit? Maybe. So we could add, for instance, we're definitely not doing that. What magic sphere? Like, hold fire a second. What's? Lulu, are you? Who's by Kamari? Ooh. Activates black magic node already used by ally. Oh. Yeah, let's we've also got a look sphere as well, which I don't mind. Right, let's save it just to make sure we've understood how this works. And then let's sphere grid, and I think I will Kamari. And yeah, I think Thundara. You might say that's a bit short-sighted, Jar, and yeah, you might be right. But nevertheless, that's where we are. Where's her path from there? Is that a dead end? No, she goes that way. Right, okay. So we could put Riku in with the look sphere. It's not appalling, but then can she use those look things? Because she will be somebody we use a lot, but wasted. Right, okay. What? I guess I could reload, but I'm not going to reload. I'll just suck that one up. Yeah, so we could. Ooh, that. Yeah, there's some decent stuff starts to appear now. But the trouble is whether or not we've got enough slots to make use of it. Like, we could do with her glorious bangle, for instance. If we should sort it. Let's do it like that. I guess we arguably just need to clear out, don't we? We have just got too many. Glorious bangle. So we could put on this. I mean, ice proof is not terrible. Although we won't be facing that for a while. A load of extra health. 20% extra health for Lulu is not to be sniffed at. Do we not have? Oh, I guess we have to have more of this. Maybe we won't do that right now. Right, short episode. How can I can normally find a way of rabbiting on that will take us past the hour mark. The trouble is, there's just not really too much has happened. I'm going to come off the bike, at least, and then, yeah, I can sit here. Sorry, it's me knocking the stand. Should have muted it first. Yeah. I mean, it's yet another biome that we're into. Again, there's this very poor. Well, I mean, the phrase I would use is, and have used before, this dreamlike sense of moving from area to area, rather than truly navigating the world. Like that map sequence, and I think all this is done as a very deliberate choice. I don't think it's an accidental thing with the game. I think it really goes for that. But some of it, smacks of slightly, like, I want to say wishy-washy storytelling, but like, I think a lot of the I think generally speaking, it's a game with very, very strong art direction. But I think the art direction drives the story rather than the story, going necessarily hand in hand with the art direction. I think there's some coolly written stuff in this, but it sits next to a lot of very, sort of, like a haberdashery of ideas and concepts that don't really seem to land. But I'm enjoying it. I do feel, and I wonder whether, to what extent this is personal preference, and maybe some people much prefer Final Fantasy X because of this. But I talked earlier on about the fact that it doesn't really have dungeons. Like, it just sort of throws, it's sort of like a blurring of the world map and random encounters in that, and then sort of dedicated sort of fighting sections. It doesn't feel like there's like a start or a middle or an end to any of the sections, really. They're just sort of, they're just kind of just really more like just areas rather than dungeons per se. And yeah, well, the other thing that goes with that is that it sort of plays out as well with a lot of the a lot of the extended dialogue sequences when they're doing the sort of like the story progression. I don't even like story progression, but like it's almost like story recap, like the character emotional progression. Like, what do how's Waka feeling with everything? How's Lulu feeling? That does Riku well, I don't even want to comment on what she was saying about becoming Lulu. Those sections, it doesn't necessarily feel like they exist at like a conclusion point in the gameplay, and I think that's really, it's quite unusual for a game to do that. Like, most of the time when everything from Final Fantasy 6, 7, as I recall, everything from 8, 9, to Clair Obscur, to Fire Emblem Three Houses, to Dragon Age Origins, they're all putting the story sort of element within the structure of their challenges, within the structure of their dungeons. Like the like, if you think about something like, I think it's my probably favourite example, just as an archetypal example of this, is something like in Cosmo Canyon, when you go in there in Final Fantasy VII and you're running about and doing your shopping and whatever, but like the bit prior to the dungeon is the sort of the emotional stress thing of the characters. And then you go through the canyons underneath, and then you have the emotional release at the end of, you know, the outcome for the story that this has had. You know, and there's a sort of an emotional tension before, and then an emotional payoff at the end as the reward for doing the dungeon. But when you look at Final Fantasy X, it kind of, you know, you might argue that, oh well, we had that bit in the Macalania Temple, and then that section under the water was the sort of relief for that. But like, firstly, we had all the business with the Yeti and so on, or whatever it was at the end of that. We still hadn't escaped before all that transpired. Is that part of the same dungeon? I mean, maybe it is, but it's a weirdly disjointed kind of thing. And then like, what's the emotional payoff for that? What is the, you know, it's just, I'm not saying that, again, it comes back to this sort of this dreamlike quality. And the other thing that like Final Fantasy X does a lot, like a rather awkward amount of the time, is ending up in new sections and biomes by accident or circumstances beyond our control. Like when you think about how things happen for the most part in Final Fantasy IX, Fire Emblem Three Houses, obviously. I'm just thinking about games we played on the channel. Clair Obscur, these are, you know, there's a very deliberate sense of where you're going in a given moment. But like, you know, like when you look at like, how did we get under the lake? How did we get here? You know, how did we get to Spear? How did we, you know, like, and again, it's all weaving in for this very, very, keep banging on the drum, this very dreamlike, yeah, like, I was quite say narrative, but very dreamlike journey. That's how I feel about it. What do you think? What were your takes on this? You know, on the art direction and so on. And do I really hope, as I say, that nobody's playing it, nobody's watching this, and it's like, this is how you're exploring the game, because it must be such a miserable way to experience it for the first time. But just in case people are, do be, you know, be kind to your fellow gamer and try and avoid spoilers if you can. Yeah. So yeah, I would love to have played more tonight, but unfortunately, as I say, my hands are giving me grief, and I'm not in a position where I can push that too much further at the moment. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.